off, I haven't forgotten about my walnut cracker situation, but I did have a minor interruption. I was down there in that basement down there fooling around. I tripped over about a 4x4 or 5x5 block, and bam, down I went. And I messed up my arm here a little bit, and that wasn't so bad, but boy, my rib up screwed that thing up so bad that I can't hardly do nothing right now. It'll have to get better. I've had this happen maybe 3 or 4 times before, bruise a rib or something. But anyway, the main thing I was going to try to talk about here was something I thought might be a little interesting to some people. In my experience in Germany in 1967 when I was in the Army. I was only there 3 months, but anyway, to start with, I went to basic up here in Fort Leonard Wood. That's only about 60 miles from home, and AIT was up in Fort Lewis, Washington, so did that, and everybody naturally thought they was going to Vietnam back in them days, and so I was surprised to find out they sent me to Germany. Now, Germany's probably a pretty country, but it's not whenever you get there in November and snow and fog and everything else. When you get off the plane there and everything, which really gives you a bad impression, but I mean, like I say, the country's pretty over there in a good weather. But so anyway, they went there, and I don't know, it was just more or less putting on a show mostly, I think, because everything had to be so clean and spit shine and everything. And they even had us clean out them stovepipes, them little kerosene heaters they put in one of them tin trash cans when you go out in the field out there to, I guess, one little camping parties they had there, and you wash your dishes and that. You got to get the crud off in the first one, and then the soap was in the second one, and then you got your final rinse on the other one. Anyway, those little pipes on there, they get pretty sooted up with coal oil smoke, so we had to sit there and clean them up. Wasn't in trouble, just something to do. And it was kind of hard to find anything for us to do, I guess, over there. It's all we do, lay around most of the time. And actually, I was up in Augsburg to start with, and then we went up to Weiden up there by the Czech-Slovakian border. And it was snow, my gosh, snow was knee deep, oh, more than that. And we had to drive on that, and man, me and Sergeant wasn't in. I wore glasses, he didn't, and so the fog and the mist and everything was freezing on the windshield. So he drive until he couldn't see out of the windshield. Then we put the windshield down. I drive until my glasses got all iced over. We had a heck of a time. Then we finally stopped at a little gas station there. Of course, everybody's they don't speak English. Obviously, they're in Germany, so we was trying to convey to him what we wanted. We wanted to get one can of spray that you put on your windshield, and de-ice it. Well, they finally got it figured out what we wanted, so then we was on our merry way. And so over there, they wouldn't let you have any tops or doors or nothing on them Jeeps, betting the bare cold out there. And so we managed to make it up where we was going, our little outpost up there. And then we got on the way up to that little small road up there, we got high centered that little Jeep pulling that little trailer and all, so we had to call for somebody to give us a hand, and while we was waiting, there was a farmhouse there, and that those German folks were real friendly. They let us stay in their garage there out of the weather until that 3/4 come. He busted through the snow all the way up to our actual outpost up there. And so then we was able to get up there with our Jeep and kind of mess around up there. You can look across there, and it wasn't very far away. The Czechoslovakians had their watchtowers up there, and you could see them guys walking around there. I didn't know at the time, but I imagine their AK-47s, they had a big old banana clip on them and everything. You could see that much from where you was at, so it wasn't far from them. And they told us, be sure you don't get out there and meander around and get lost, because they put their entering Czechoslovakia about 100 feet inside their border, and if they catch you, then you belong to them, I guess. I don't know what happened, but had a funny little incident happen there. Back in them days, they didn't call it racist, they call it prejudice. And we had this little black guy. Turned out he was a good friend, but to start with, when he first met me, he was in our little shack there, on our outpost. He said, "Lunsford, give me a drink out of your canteen." I said, "Well, sure, here you go." And he took a drink and gave it back to me, and all was good. And later he said, I thought, knowing where you're from, you might be a little prejudiced. He said, "But I was just giving you a little test, so you okay?" And After that, me and him were good friends. Well, I'm the only one he would let use his stereo over there. It was a really nice stereo. He was there for probably 30 months, and so he had some stuff. And me and him played his lot car tracks and everything, so it turned out to be a real nice guy. But anyway, that's just how things can go. If you make trouble, you get trouble. That's about what it amounts to. And anyway, we had a lot of different things go on up there in Germany. It was kind of a fun deal and not so fun, The one thing I liked, that schnitzel, man, that was some good stuff. In fact, I didn't realize you could order just 2 pieces of meat, so I ordered 2 plates. I honestly didn't care for their potato salad nor their slaw because they loaded it up with vinegar. I didn't care for that too much. I like it in general, but not the way they had it. And let's see, what else going on over there? Not just a whole lot. I was there for 3 months, and another thing I really liked was we had a cafeteria, they call it. Man, I mean, you could eat anything you wanted. They had it. They had hamburgers, roast beef, whatever, cakes, all kinds of stuff. And so that was really a good thing. Now, we did have one guy there. He was a Mexican guy and a nice guy until he got drunk. But I was in there one day, and he was drunk, and he was chewing on a piece of Coke bottle. Man, told the other guys, we got to stop this because he's going to kill himself. And they said, nah, don't worry about it. He'd go to the bar and get all loaded up like that, and he'd just take a bite right out of the glass. It was a drinking glass. All right, whatever. Anyway, he got real excited one time, drunk and everything. He tore that whole room up. We had 4 guys stayed in one room. There was 2 bunk beds there, and he had the one turned plumb over, kicked it all apart and everything. Finally, this little black guy, a friend I had there, he finally hit the guy right in the jaw and knocked him out. And after he woke up, he's fine, but getting drunk like he got real wild and rowdy. But anyway, I don't want to run this on too long. I don't even have a thing to show you how long it is, but that's just some of the minor things we did over in Germany. Like I said, I was there 3 months, and I got levied to go to Vietnam, so. That was actually more interesting than the Germany incident. Thing I forgot. Well, I mentioned there that might be a little interest. They had us wash them Jeeps out there, and I mean, it was like way below zero, not zero, way below freezing. And we got to go down, you had to go out and check out a water hose. There was like, I don't know, creek or pond or something down. They had these taps, they're kind of like a fire hydrant, but wasn't exactly. So you couple your hose on there and you turn it on and you go up there and wash your Jeep. Well, it was absolutely useless, but that was just, again, something for us to do, I guess. I mean, because that stuff was freezing instantly when it hit that Jeep, and hell, about half inch of ice on it. Looked good and shiny for a while, just like a coating of, just like polyurethane on there. It looked real good. And another incident, we was out driving, I don't know what we was even doing, just out for a drive, I guess, like a convoy. And, them Army tanks are so heavy, as soon as they run over that snow, it's instant ice, So we was going down through there's some guys in front of us down this little road trail-like thing. And I was driving, we had little Sergeant E5, I think, with us, and then there's another sergeant. He had a band of stripes up his arm, I don't know what he was. But anyway, he was a little guy, a nice little guy, too, for a sergeant. But anyway, then we come up this one spot, and it was downhill. And I was driving, of course. And man, we seen down there's already some vehicles that slid off, and some of them, one of them, 2 or 3's in the ditch. And I think I had it under control pretty good. And there was this one sergeant out there waving, he said, stop. Well, you can't stop, you're already committed. You're coming down the hill. The only thing you can do is kind of ease with it and try to stay on the straight and narrow, and then you can make it all right. But you start slamming on the brakes, which I had to slow down too fast, because that guy was in the way. I figured, well, he'll probably fall, I'll run over him. We went down there, but we kind of jackknifed on that little bridge, but it didn't really hurt nothing. We just, one wheel hit the side of that concrete on the bridge, and other than that, that was it. Man, so I told the sergeant, he said, why didn't you all put them chains on? I said, well, nobody else had the chains. If I stopped, and we'd be way behind time to catch up with them. So he was kind of I don't know, I guess he was just not thinking, or whatever the case may be. But anyway, we made it through it all right, and nobody got hurt for it, I know. But well, like I said, them tank trails, they run over that, and them little big paths flatten that snow into ice right quick, and you really don't have much traction whatsoever. And of course, there again, we was pulling our trailer like always. But anyway, that was one more thing. And another thing that really surprised me is because it's different than here. in the mess hall there, why they had some civilian Germans working there, working on the mess hall. And they sitting over there drinking them big old, I guess they were liters or looked like a quart of beer with their meal. You know, well, that wouldn't fly too good here in the US of A, because they say you're drunk or you're drinking and everything on the job, so get out, you know. But and with their things are a little different. It's acceptable. I guess they drink beer and it don't even bother them, because these guys didn't get drunk. They sat there and finished their meal and sat there and bullshit a little bit, and then the next thing you know, they're up and working again. So it's just the way things are a little bit different places like that. All right, now this time it will be enough. I don't want to get ramble on just too much. That's probably going to run us a little long anyway. So there again, thanks for watching. Take care.